All right, man. So before we do the old Mad Lib, anything that you want to talk
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, I wrote it down so I'd know. But so I saw Guardians 3 before. It would have been like before the last podcast, but I wasn't on that one. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's like, heck, have you seen it yet? Are you
No.
gonna see it?
Yeah, I'll see it. I'll see it when it drops on Disney.
I gotcha. Because it's like it's Tom. Like I'll compare it to Tom Taylor. So like if you like that type of stuff, you'll like this, where it's like, oh, there's these characters. We're gonna have, like use them as like these emotional characters. And then so when we kill them, you feel something. Like I'm not trying to spoil it, but that's a bit of a spoiler. So it's like, cheap writing, I think is the best way of putting it. And then like because I had some expectations because there's people I follow that were like, oh, this is giving me hope for Superman. It's like it hasn't for me at all.
But why should it? Like
I,
Guardians 3 should not dictate anything to
well, it's
Superman.
mostly just to be like, oh, this is a different type of movie that Gunn is writing versus what, and it's to me, it's not. It's the same shit. Just this time, it's like, oh, there's deaths in this one. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's like I said, it's perfectly fine. The best parts, it's just like Cosmo, like Preston said, Cosmo was great. And it's like, yeah, Cosmo is great. Every version of Cosmo is just the best. Like there's nothing about Cosmo that anyone can dislike.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. And then also Adam Warlock, which I kind of figured with who they casted. And then the fact that Gunn brought him in, and I was like, yeah, this probably isn't going to be very good. And boy, was I right. It's pretty terrible.
I mean, he's probably not as powerful as he needs to be either, right?
It because okay, I'm not gonna lie, I love Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock's powers throughout the years never made a fucking lick of sense to me. And in this one, it's just kind of like he's as powerful as we want him to be in each moment. Like there's not like a good explanation. It's kind of similar to Captain Marvel in Infinity War, where it's like she's fucking strong. And then it's like, oh, well, we can't, like, the plot dictates her to be weaker now. So she's weaker. It's like, oh, okay, I guess. Why not?
Adam Warlock just needed to get that Hillary Clinton cut like Captain Marvel
I
so
mean,
that he could
it's
save the day.
it's a similar, it's just not combed the same way, but it's pushed back. Like he probably could have done it. But no, it's just they made him really stupid and nothing like Adam Warlock. So just didn't do it for me. And then yeah, there's other things I didn't like about it, but for the most part, it's if you like Guardians one and two, you'll probably like this one. Dave Batista still sucks. Like I don't get the appeal of him as Drax really at all. People are like, oh, he's so good. It's like, no, he's a fucking idiot. But Chris Pratt's really good. Like, always. That's one thing I do think is funny. You guys were talking on the news where you're like, oh, we don't need Chris Pratt. We want an unknown. In all fairness, Pratt was an unknown when he got brought into the Marvel verse, and then they made him into what he is now.
Well, I mean, the comparison wasn't when he was first
I
casted.
know, I know, but you guys were like, oh, we don't want a Chris Pratt. It's like, well, I mean, in all fairness, I think no matter who they get, if the movies are successful, they're just going to end up being put in every random shit then.
Yeah.
But then I saw Shin Kamen Rider, which was a lot of fun. If you're an anime fan, I think you would enjoy it because it's just like it's I don't know, it's a cross between like a bunch of different like Kamen Rider, but mixed with like anime. You know how like the animes will have like the over the top blood. Like when they punch somebody like that. It's wild. It's really really good. It's probably my least favorite of the three Shin movies that I've seen though. Like Shin Ultraman's my favorite. That was so good, so much fun. And Shin Godzilla is really 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 good, awesome. And then Shin Kamen Rider is just like, yeah, this is good. I'd recommend it.
Was it also live action?
Yes. And
Was
then
it one
I
of those like limited release things?
yeah, this one was even more limited. It like Shin Ultraman was 2 days, and then this one like was 1 day only. Uh, but after like Fathom Events was like, holy shit, people are actually wanting to see this. They actually did another release, I think today.
Nice.
So that's pretty neat. But so if you're listening to this, just I guess you have to wait till it comes out on DVD to watch.
Like a loser.
Yeah, but it's good. Shin Ultraman, like I said, is better though. I'd recommend both. And then I was listening to old Testing Room Boys with Jake in it, and I wasn't listening to it with you, but you guys were talking about your most expensive games, and I just wanted to share mine because this is the one I'm pretty sure is my most expensive. It would be the Godzilla game for PlayStation 4, and it was hilarious because that came out at $20. And so one year, just on a whim, I'm like, Nick, that's my brother. I was like, you could just get me a Godzilla for my birthday, the game, because I've been wanting that anyway, and it had already been out for like a year at this point. And he's like, okay. And so then when on my birthday, he left the tag on it for how much he paid for it, and it was like $30. I'm like, dude, you overpaid. Like I'm just thinking that in my head. And then like I find out like a couple years later, I see it online, and it's going for like high hundreds. And like in some Godzilla groups, people were talking about how they're like paying like 300 for it and shit. I went on, yeah, no, it's stupid. Like the game is fun as a Godzilla fan, not worth that. And so I'm like, when you were talking about that website on testing room, I was like, well, I'll see what this is. And I think it was like 198 is what this game is worth.
Damn. Why?
Limited. It was limited, like with how many that they made. So not a lot of people bought them when it first came out, and then now like people are trying to go back and get it, and it was like I said limited, and so the people that got it are like, well shit, if you're willing to pay this for it, might as well.
But so like does the collector and you say no, I don't want to sell it?
I mean pretty much because it's just like it's a fun game that I can put in and just play at any time, and I enjoy it that way. And it's like if it was a shit game, like if it would have been like trying to think of like a really bad game, like I don't know, if it was just something that wasn't like good at all, like the I don't know, like fucking Aquaman game. If it was like that, I'd be like, oh yeah, might as well. But this is like it's a fun. Someone I think fucking Yahtzee was talking about that. We were watching it at the shop where he was talking about it. He said it's like if you want to be like if you want to be Godzilla, but like in all the worst ways, this is how it is. It's like yeah, you're slow, you're lumbering, you don't have good control because it's like you're in the suit, like you have poor control. It's slow, it's lumbering, it's awesome as a Godzilla fan.
I love Yahtzee. I hadn't watched anything from him in a long time, but then I watched the like the Tears of the Kingdom one popped up unsuggested. And I was like, oh yeah, Yahtzee exists. So I had to check that out.
How do you
He's
like
still
that?
funny.
How do you like that game? Because that's the new Zelda, correct?
Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
It looks like it's just there's be like I would not have a good time playing because there's just so much to do.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, like that because that was like my problem with the new like I think Fallout 4 because I was like I started playing that I'm like there's just everything. I hate this and I just stopped playing it. It's like
Yeah.
I want some form of, like just let me like just tell me what to do. Don't just be like, hey, you can build stuff. Like I don't want that.
No, this is they took everything from Breath of the Wild and they made it better.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm glad, man.
Actually, God, I've probably got like 80 hours in it, and it's been out 3 weeks.
That's not bad.
Oh, it's just so fun.
How's that rank on your Zelda leaderboard?
It's man, the nostalgic twat in me doesn't want to say it's the best one, but it might be the best one.
I
It's
watched
it's top. It's definitely top five, but most likely top three.
I watched this funny ass. I mean, like I hate Stone Cold Steve Austin because he beats women. Google it. But I watched this like clip of him interviewing Cody Rhodes. They didn't bring up the beating women, which I thought was weird. But Stone Cold was like, "Hey, what's your top Zelda game?" And then Cody's like, "Ocarina of Time," and he's like, "Breath of the Wild."
There's no way Stone Cold plays Zelda.
Cody's like, "That's a bold choice." Yeah, like I love it because there's those female characters that you just get to slap the shit out of. And like Cody's like, I don't remember that part. It's in the mods. It's like, do you just mod games where you can beat women? Yeah, pretty much. Since I get in trouble when I do that in real life.
Oh man. On the spot though, I'd probably say like the top three are Ocarina, Tears of the Kingdom, and Wind Waker.
Okay. Wind Waker, I liked, but I was dumb, and I just kind of like this is how I am with how I was with like Wind Waker is one that I played really early on as a kid. That was like probably the earliest one that I played outside of Link to the Past. And those are two where I'm like, oh, I love this, but I would just keep redoing the same shit over and over again because I was too stupid to actually like, you know, move the game along.
Well, it's not easy for a kid.
Yeah, and then like I remember one time I got in a lot of trouble with Link to the Past because this would have been like third grade Casey probably. And I went on like Game Radar or whatever, like one of those websites that you can get walkthroughs. And I was just like walk through, and I printed it off, and that was like 80 pages.
Did you beat it though?
No, because here's the thing: the walkthrough was just like it was just all black and white written out text. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. Because it's first off like a table of contents and
Well, yeah, I
all
know
this,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what? This isn't where I'm at right now.
Dumbass. Oh, that's so funny. I played the HD remakes of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess pretty much back to back. So those are like kind of on par for me.
Now, because like Twilight was the first one that I played that I would say like I actually completed and did a good job with, and I love that game. But does an HD remake of either of those actually add anything?
Just like controls essentially.
Oh, I got you. Because that was the word like fucking that last boss fight with Ganon was a fucking nightmare on the Wii controllers.
Exactly. Exactly. So they on the Wii U you could use the gamepad or a pro controller, which
I
made
gotcha.
all the difference.
But then with old Wind Waker though, I mean, you had the best fucking controller of all, like not all time, but
Mhm.
like top three with the GameCube controllers, and like that fucking like graphic style is so good, you
Yeah,
know.
but they just made it better. Like they could
Oh,
crisp
okay,
it up a little bit.
okay,
Yeah.
I got you, man.
It looked really good on the Wii U,
Yeah,
honestly.
I just
Yeah.
realized I need to write out. Oh, cool. Here you got Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I just, been
Dude,
doing it a lot lately, so
yeah, I'm good with that. I was just like, I just realized like I didn't write one out. So you're doing the Lord's work, bud.
I am. Someone's got to hold this thing together.
I know.
All right, Mad Lib.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Been watching a lot of Community.
I actually just finished it up recently, so
Nice. I'm towards the end of season 2. I do like one episode before bed, so it's a slow go.
yeah,
But man, is it funny.
it was one of those background shows for me. So like I would have it on like while cooking or doing any or like reading or whatever.
Yeah. I am still very bummed about the D&D episode though. It's such a
Yeah,
shame.
that's the nice part now that I'm in here. Once I get everything finished unpacking and stuff, I'll have the seasons on DVD so I can sell that for $2,000. Like, you
Yeah.
want the D&D episode, you nerds? Here it is.
Hopefully someone's put it on YouTube or something and I can watch it that way.
Yeah, like, because it was funny though. Shirley was asked in an interview about it, and she was like, first off, my name's Yvette. And then secondly, I don't think it's racist at all. I think there's even a part when Shirley, my character, says that's a hate crime. And he's just a an elf, and that's what they look like. And it's them, her saying that is showing how a normal person would react to it and all this stuff. I'm like, see, Shirley, you get it. You're just
Yeah.
the smartest.
Yep.
Media in that movie.
Hopefully she is, man. I did read a thing from like Dan Harmon was asked some questions about it, and he was like, yeah, it's not gonna be an hour and a half long paintball episode or an hour and a half of Dungeons and Dragons, just because I don't want it to just rehash what we've done. And I'm like, man, but I would watch an hour and a half of them playing D&D. It would be hilarious.
Like, my one thing that I'm like a little worried about, and this isn't a knock on anything and whatnot, but it's like every time I've seen a movie based off, not every time, but a lot of times when I see a movie based off a TV show, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force or the Bob's Burgers movie comes to mind, like recently, I'm always like, boy, this would have been fine if it ended like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's like there's a reason why these shows are 30 minutes. Like, this is pretty rough, but I'm hoping the community one's not like that.
Yeah, I agree, man. All right, here we go.
Okay.
An exclamation.
Wow.
Noun.
Lamp.
Adjective.
Sweaty.
Same adjective. So again, sweaty.
Okay.
Plural noun.
Let's just go with some balls.
Oh no. A place.
um, Jake's butthole.
No, please. It's got to be something different, and you'll know
Okay.
why later.
Vin Diesel's butthole.
Okay, perfect. Noun.
um, let's go with fireplace.
Did you just look at a fireplace?
Yeah, I'm in my living room. Not to sound too hoity-toity, but I have a fireplace.
Ooh, in the study. A verb.
Fuck.
A city.
Let's go with Anchorage.
Interesting that that's the first city that comes to mind.
I was actually thinking Antarctica, but I'm like, that's not a city.
That's not a city.
That old city, Antarctica, Illinois.
Adjective.
Big.
Plural noun.
Uh, hmm. Let's go with tires.
Plural noun.
Pubic hairs.
Celebrity.
Paul Walker.
We already did this theme.
Oh shoot, you're right.
It's too late. We've already done Vin Diesel, so
Well, Vin Diesel's butthole.
okay. A verb.
Fuck. I think, wait, I already had fuck, didn't I?
Yep.
So I probably can't do that again, can I?
Well, I already wrote it. So
Oh, okay.
a noun.
Um, like a big old veiny schlong.
Occupation.
Um, dildo tester.
I guess it doesn't say real occupation.
That's
Verb.
not that's what I've been doing for $5. A dildo hasn't been a real job.
Verb ending in ing.
Well, I've done fuck twice. I'm gonna go shitting.
It actually works out so well. Oh shit. And then a number.
I'm gonna go 96. Due to inflation, 69's been raised up to 96.
Damn, I pre-wrote
Well,
69.
then just do 69. I just wanted to make that
Nope.
dumb joke.
Nope. It's been done.
I hope you wrote the whole thing out because inflation, 69 is now 96.
Okay, here's the thing about this. It's a script for Tom and Maddie. So I'm going to be doing voices.
Nice. Who are Tom and Maddie?
So this is the Sonic movie one. So it's James Marsden and his lady.
Cyclops.
Yes, Cyclops.
Yeah. Call him by his Christian name.
All right, it's called Teen Turmoil. Tom and Maddie discuss their extraterrestrial teenager. Wow. I figured parenting a teen lamp would be sweaty, but I didn't think it would be this sweaty. Oh, Sonic is just like all the other teenage balls around Vin Diesel's butthole. But he can't keep sneaking out of the fireplace at night to fuck around Anchorage. He just wants to experience the big taste of freedom. He needs tires his own age to hang out with. He should be playing video pubic hairs and binging Paul Walker movies. And stop trying to fuck so fast all the time. And just enjoy being a big old veiny schlong. Don't worry about Sonic becoming a dildo tester. I'm more worried about him shitting in our attic until he's 90s.
That's wonderful.
I'm more worried about him shitting in our attic until he's 96 years old. And that's the end.
I'd be worried about that too.
Wow, that was, while it was super raunchy, it was pretty Mad Libby for us.
I agree.
Oh, goodness. All right, ready for the episode? All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds podcast. And returning to my side, it's the Apollo to my Midnighter. It's Casey. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, man, I like that we are, like every company in June, just kind of get that pride out there.
We're like this every month.
Yeah, unlike all those companies, we got our pride on our shoulder.
That's right. All right. How'd the move go, man?
I mean, it's slow going. I'm surrounded by boxes. I had to buy myself a special shelf so I can put some of this stuff up, and it
All
just
the
came in.
Stuff?
No, this is like books and stuff in my living room. I got some shelves for up there, and I'll tell you this funny story. So I was like, well, shoot, I'll just get some, like the shelf boards and some brackets and hang up some, and then get, added shelves after that, see how much it is. And I was like, I got the things like, I'll get some anchors to, make sure, because I'm just going straight into this. I wasn't sure what it was, if it was lath and plaster, or if it was drywall. Because I got the anchors and I go upstairs and I'm like, it says no drilling required on these anchors. That's a fucking lie. It, like, as I'm doing it, it just, because they're like these little plastic anchors, they'll drill into the drywall, and you put the bolt in there, and then that holds it in place. And so I doing it, and it just flattens it out. So then I
Cool.
I drill a hole, I drill a little hole, and I drill the anchor in, and that goes in. That first one works. Go to the second one, I do the same thing. This time, as I'm drilling the anchor in, it just snaps the anchor in half. So then I'm like, shit. So I'm like, well, I'll worry about that later. I'm gonna probably just do regular screws, because I think this is lath and plaster now. I'm like about positive that drywall is not doing that. So I'll just get some regular screws and worry about the holes when I move. And, and
Yeah.
so then I'm gonna do that probably this week. And then I bought a shelf also for in there. It was like really good price at Menards. It's like, oh shit, this is a great price. I'll pick this up and then, see where I'm at with my Godzilla shit after this. And I start putting it together. I'm like, there's no boards in here. And I look on the box. It says, this is the frame only, no boards. Don't buy this thinking there's boards in here, you idiot.
Oh
So
no. So how much do the boards cost?
I haven't bought them yet. They're not too expensive. So I'm like, whatever. It's just like, I'm gonna have to make sure I get some that are the right size, because that's gonna be what I'll do next. I'll get the wrong size boards. They won't fit, or they'll be too small or too big or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's fun.
You know,
Home
man,
ownership.
sometimes you're just a big old knucklehead.
I know. I was like killing time because I was gonna get my hair cut. Thanks for saying I look great. And I was like, oh, I'll look at these shells. Like, oh, this is a really nice shell. Yeah, I can. It's not that much either. This is a good price.
Why am I talking like Adam Sandler?
Well, because I'm hoping he stars as me in, my new movie, Casey's Big House.
Casey fucks up at Menards.
Yeah. This doesn't have enough shells.
That was a great one, man.
Hey, does I think our friend
Yes.
Kyle does a better one though.
Yes, he does. Oh man. Well, I'm glad that for the most part it's going well.
Yeah.
Um thanks again to a couple of the testing room boys for stepping in last week. Um so Casey, I don't know if it might have been on the YouTube where you commented, but you said you were going to comment on Christian's question about
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Okay, so this I've been thinking about this a lot. Like after you said it, then I was driving and shit, so I was thinking about it a good bit. My only thought is like, first off, there haven't been a lot of like kaiju anime in general. Like when you really think about it, like Attack on Titan's like the main one that comes to mind. And that's like only been, you know, pretty recent. It's like I don't think that, they were ever thinking about doing that. There's a new one that's coming out. It's like I think Kaiju 8 or something like that. It's gonna be new. The manga has done its first arc or whatever, but everything else is usually like giant robots fighting a monster as far as like the proper kaiju stuff. So like I think that's probably part of it. And then also like Toho's for the longest time was like super just protective of the Godzilla IP. And they would actually just stop making movies for stretches of time, like after the Showa era. Like they did the Heisei era, and then they're like, yep, we're done making movies for like a good chunk of time, until like they let America get it, and then they're like, oof, that was terrible. We need to make them, like they had to bring up the Millennium era of Godzilla films earlier, like than they wanted, because TriStar did the Godzilla '98, and like they barely made video games. They're just now making animes, so we're probably gonna be more apt to get it now, like than we had been years prior, because it just seems like they're more open to doing that shit now than they were at any other time. So that's my thought, but someone that knows more than me might be able to say, oh well, actually, they did try to do animes way back in the day, and it just, or whatever. I'm like, okay, nerd.
Yeah, you forgot the greatest anime, the Godzilla Power Hour, featuring Godzuki.
That wasn't an anime though,
I
bud.
know, I'm just kidding.
That's a Hanna Barbera.
A Hanna-Barbera masterpiece.
Yeah, no, I mean that was a Hanna Barbera show, along with the old The Thing TV show that was Hanna Barbera, where you had the Thing ring, but it
Yeah,
wasn't Ben Grimm.
yeah.
Thing ring, do your
Godzuki
thing.
was his nephew, right? Not his son.
I think so, because I think they were like, America was like, yeah, we can't have a Godzilla that has where we can't have the kids asking, how does that boy Godzilla have a son and no mom? It's like, I just want to know where Godzilla's brother and sister in law were. Why is
I
Godzilla
know.
having to raise him?
I know. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Maybe Ghidorah killed him or something.
Well, Ghidorah wasn't in that universe. He was in the Hanna Barbera verse.
Yeah, well, neither were his brother and sister-in-law. So,
I just picture it though, like Hanna Barbera. They had Scooby Dum, so it's like God, it's like Dumbzilla. He's got like an old timey cap on for some reason.
right. And he's just gray.
Yeah.
All right. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, because I wasn't sure at the time of the recording, how do you feel about the Killing Joke?
Oh, I like it a lot. I think so. This is one of the things. I'm not a big Alan Moore guy, just like you. And I think anytime Alan Moore, though, is writing something like The Killing Joke or a story that I don't know if you've read, but I think you would like it. Superman, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
I have read that.
Yeah. And then because I had the hardcover trade of that one where it
Mm-hmm.
had that and the Black Mercy story. And it's like, I think that stuff is infinitely better than his stuff where he's like getting to do all the Alan Moore stuff that he wants to do. And like it kind of reins him in more. I think it just like it focuses him and makes it a better story. My only
Yeah.
knock with The Killing Joke, and this is a knock that's like it's not an original knock by any means, but it's the fact that like basically Barbara is just in this story to get shot and then get stripped down and have her pictures taken of her. That's it. That's her whole purpose in this. And it's kind of like, yeah, Barbara's a better character. She deserves better than that. I think they could have done something different and easily made it work. Like this is just kind of like shock value for the sake of shock value. That's the one knock I have on the whole book, but it's still really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I think it gets too much hate just for that too, though, because I think at the end of the day, that made Barbara just 100% a better character.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she went through a lot more character progression than most DC characters did.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Okay, right on. Well, let's get into the news. I think you've got one or two more, man. So if you want to
Yeah.
start us off.
Okay, so I'll start off with this because this was one of the things that you didn't mention last week.
I just didn't know much about it.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. Zombies Run. So I don't know if I've ever told you about this app, but it's basically this running app that you can listen to while you run. You can play your music, but then every once in a while it's an interactive run. It'll be like, hey, runner 5, like that's your name. And they'll be like, you got to go, this much further till you pick up your thing. Oh, no, there's zombies. You better run fast. And if you don't run fast enough, you get bit, all that type of stuff. It's fun. It's a fun way to exercise. They are now working with Marvel Interactive to make a fitness adventure. So if you want to start running and you're like, well, I can only run if Captain America's telling me to go fast.
On your left.
Yeah. God, I would fucking just throw my fucking phone in the damn road. But yeah, so if that's something that you're interested in, could be cool. Like I said, Zombies Run is a lot of fun, so this could be a fun way for you guys to start running. And we're also going to work with Zombies Run to make our own running podcast where it's just us going, slow down.
Dude, that would be so funny.
And then the other thing, we're on the Space Knight. The original Marvel run is getting an omnibus collection. It's going to release next year. Plus, we're getting a facsimile edition on sale in September. So that's pretty exciting.
The omnibus everyone's asking for.
Well, like, dude, I think that's going to make I would say keep at least one at your shop because like that there's so many people that are excited about this that are old heads, which is kind of what you get in your shop a lot. So I think there's enough people that read it back in the day that are going to see this and freak out because you've not been able to get a collection of this at all because like two different companies own ROM. That's one of the
Yeah.
like neat things that people are posting. They're like, remember when Hasbro still owned the rights to ROM, but Marvel still tried to do stuff with the Space Knights? And I had this comic where it was like the Space Knights, and it looked like just the worst version of Power Rangers you could ever imagine. Like everything fun and cool about the Power Rangers is just stripped away, and they just made this shitty thing. And they're like, let's see if we can make some money at this. Spoiler alert: they couldn't.
They could not.
So yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I might check out if I'm being honest, because like I have read a bunch of my dad's old ROM Space Knights, and they were pretty awesome.
Well, get ready for it to be really expensive. I'm sure it'll be at least 125, maybe
Oh shit!
150.
See, I was hoping just like I was like capping out at 80.
Oh no, no way, dude. I'm if it's the whole series, 150.
I don't think it's gonna be the whole series because I don't think like are omnibuses ever really the whole series. I usually think it's like this is like testing the
Some,
water. Oh, okay, because I was figuring it'd be testing the water, being like, oh, this is gonna sell well. We'll keep printing them out like Starman did, with his omnibus.
yeah, we'll see. All right. So, uh, big news on the Fast and Furious front. The Rock came out and announced that there will be a Hobbs spinoff that's going to happen before Fast X Part 2. And Casey and I mildly joked about this a couple episodes ago, but it's no doubt that this is happening because Black Adam didn't work out and Rock needs to be in some sort of franchise. So, spoiler alert, he was one of the post-credit scenes in Fast X. So, maybe they've already been working on it if it's supposed to come out before Fast X Part 2. I don't know.
One
But
thing that to piggyback off of that, Dom Toretto was saying there might be a Toretto's spin-off series after Fast X Part 3.
really,
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. If it's just going to be like the sister always making excuses why Paul Walker's not there, and then her kids and Dom's kid all hang out. I don't know, but he was like talking about maybe I'll do that.
you know, no matter how you feel about that, it would make money if that's what they did.
It would. I mean, okay, so I listened to No Dunks, which they did that, and then also How Did This Get Made? I've been listening to them talk about the different fast movies, and it's really funny. And that's where another bit of news I'll talk about why with the Hobbs. But before that, they both those podcasts talk so highly about Han, like how he's the coolest character.
He is the coolest character.
Why doesn't he get a spinoff? Because like I mean, he sounds like the coolest character when people are like people talk about him and the stuff he does. I'm like, I want to see a Han movie.
Dude, I mean, Tokyo Drift is the Han movie, essentially. That's
Yeah,
why I
well,
like it so much.
and then he had like the director of Tokyo Drift made another movie that was like had Han in it, and it is the same actor, and he just brought him over to Tokyo Drift, I guess. I don't remember the movie.
Like it was unofficially a Han movie, or what do you mean?
I mean, the Han character. I don't know if he's the main character or what, but that Han character, same actor, same name, everything. Before Tokyo Drift, he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna put this character that I've already made that I like, and this actor that I like into the Fast verse now because I can because I own the rights to it and all this stuff."
Huh. I'll have to look into that. I don't know. Like, I'm sure I would have heard what that is at some point, but
But the other okay, so the other thing that I saw is the Hobbs and Shaw movie. The reason why like it's just gonna be called Hobbs is because Jason Statham and The Rock have beef now after working on Hobbs and Shaw together.
did they say what it was?
No, but that's what they were talking about on how this get made. I think it's 100%. I think it's just 100% that like Rock sounds like he's got a bit of an ego. I think that's probably a big part of it, you know, because it's like, oh yeah, I want my character to fight Superman in my movie and probably win. So
That's a shame because like I mean that movie is really like I rewatched again recently. It's pretty dumb, but obviously like in a good
yeah,
action movie way. I don't know. I mean, you know how I feel about Statham. So like if there's beef, I'm Team
team.
Statham, baby.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because that's the thing. It's like between we've talked about this before, but between Vin, Statham, and The Rock, Statham is the one that seems like he's the most like, yeah, this is all dumb. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 100%. Like it's just kind of a dumb, fun thing. And with the other two, it's like, no, no, no. I need to be a tough guy.
Yeah. It's like,
But
dude, we don't believe any of this is real. It's
yeah.
okay.
And then that Han movie that I was mentioning, it's called Better Luck Tomorrow, directed
Better
by
luck tomorrow.
Justin Lin, and it's from Paramount, and it's the first appearance of Han.
Huh. In 2002. Well, dang, man, I'm gonna have to watch it.
Man, see, this is the wonders of listening to fucking podcasts about Fast and the Furious. You learn things.
I know stuff that I genuinely think is exciting.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm just saying, the way it sounds, we need more Han because he sounds like the best character.
No, we really do. We really do. I again, that's why I love Tokyo Drift so much because Han is just so cool. It's like,
Yeah,
dang, why can't everyone else be, this cool?
yeah. Okay, so Sam Raimi is reportedly being eyed to direct Avengers Secret Wars, which it's like, I guess that's fine. I don't think it's going to amount to much. Like, I liked Sam Raimi. I mean, I like Sam Raimi as a director. I, I'll be honest, there's a few things here and there in Multiverse of Madness where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Sam Raimi move. Like, there's a couple things, but for the most part, it still felt like a Marvel movie with the way things were done. Like it's not like he's gonna be taking these huge risks that that they're gonna have him do. So I'm like, I don't think whoever they get, it's gonna feel like a one of them movie. So I don't know. You have any opinion on that?
Not really. Like, I mean, you know how I felt about Multiverse of
Yeah.
Madness. It's just like I don't want him to do any more Marvel stuff now. You know what I mean though? It's like it's not gonna be like Multiverse of Madness again for me.
Yeah.
And I don't mean literally just like that kind of experience. So I don't know. It's like if he does it, it's probably gonna be fine and I'll like it. I just don't see how it's gonna top that other one for me.
Yeah. I think honestly though, if like with a director like Sam Raimi, I think he'd be better suited, like they did James Gunn, where it's like, here we because like James Gunn, love him or hate him, he is kind of responsible for like a lot of the tone of the Marvel movies, in my opinion. So like
I would
if
say a majority of the tone.
yeah, so like if Sam Raimi, if they're like, yeah, hey Sam, you want to do, I don't know, like some D-list character that we're gonna be, trying out, you want to do
D
this.
man.
Yeah, if you want to do a B-man movie, like okay, then like that's where he'd get like able to do shit that the Sam Raimi way. The Avengers movie, it would 100% just be like, yeah, this is like every other Avengers movie.
Yep. All right. Well, the rest of my stuff is like all comic news. So
Yeah, I have one comic news thing, so I'll just do rest of my crap and then end with my comic news and let you do your comic news.
cool.
So we're gonna get a live action Miles Morales movie. It's reportedly in the works already. And this whole time I was like, I thought they're gonna just be doing Madam Web verse stuff, but I guess we're getting actual Spider-Man crap.
Let's be real. A Miles movie is a Madam Web verse spinoff.
Yeah, very much. I hope the sting for the Madam Web movie is like, hey, here's a Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we want more Madam Web though, please. And then the Flash 2 script is already done. It was written by David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick. It'll include guest appearances from Keaton's Batman and Cow's Supergirl. One thing that someone mentioned though, it's like they basically just made this script so that to say like, oh, there is a script. It doesn't have to fit into Gunn's whole plan. As soon as they just want to have it basically a script ready, have a framework because scripts get rewritten thousands of times, all that shit. It's basically just a proof of concept type of thing because people are getting up in arms about it, and someone that actually knows the business explained it, in a smart way. So
Is that the same writer that did the current Flash
they said
movie?
it was someone that did Aquaman.
Okay.
So it's like, it's basically just like, yeah, write this script. You've seen the movie already, come up with something new. And then they did. So it's like odds are the next one's not going to be anything like this original script.
Right.
Unless this movie makes like $2 billion and Warner Brothers is like, nope, we need Keaton Batman back.
Well, according to every single person on Twitter, it's the best movie ever made. So,
Yeah, it always sounds though like there's a gun to their head. They'll be like, I don't normally like superhero movies, but The Flash is good. Every single one is like that. And I'm like, boy, it sounds like you guys are reading a script here.
so a friend of the show, Drew, who was on for our Sandman episode, he got to see it last week. And Drew is like the biggest DC fan that I know. And he said that it really was that good.
Good.
So if it's got the Drew stamp of approval, it gives me a lot of hope, honestly.
Yeah, I just dislike Ezra Miller so much. It's hard for me to get excited. Like just as I think they are a shit actor and a shit person. So it's hard for me to get excited.
Yep. I get it, man. I get
It's
it.
like when the main appeal is old man Michael Keaton, it's hard for me to get overly excited about a movie.
Wow. I don't know. I've avoided all spoilers, but I guess there's been some spoilers on some cameos that are in there. And I'm not saying cameo should make or break a movie, but it sure sounds like a lot of fun, at
Yeah,
least.
I've heard some of the rumored ones. I don't know if they're true, but like I mean,
I would say yes, it's probably true from the sounds of
okay,
it.
okay, because me and Nick were talking about this because it's there's another famous Nicholas that might be in that movie as a character.
It had like a Superman,
Huh?
like a Superman.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the rumor that me and him have like both heard, and we were talking about that. And then we already talked about it on the podcast, but George Clooney is supposed to be rumored in it too.
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if George Clooney actually is, because he has said multiple times he keeps the picture of him as Batman on his mantle just to know not to take jobs for money.
And for the longest time, he would give you a refund for your ticket money,
Yeah.
which is just so funny.
And then my last bit of news, Andy Muschietti, he is the director for the Flash movie that we're talking about, has reportedly signed on to direct Brave and the Bold. So that's pretty, I mean, like if this movie's as good as it says, maybe when he has an actor that's not just, first off, terribly casted and a piece of shit, it might, and then it might, might be pretty good.
That's hilarious.
And then lastly, Dan Slott will return to Superior Spider Man in the fall because we haven't had enough of either of those. It's making me feel old. I don't know if this is how the book's going to be because they said on Twitter, like, more information coming soon. So I don't know if it's going to be one of those books where it's like the Joe Fixit book or whatever, but it's like, boy, if that's the case, I feel old.
Way back in
Yeah.
2010.
I mean, I'm going to say this. And if Daniel, if you're listening, I want you to take this to heart because you didn't ask my opinion. I think he's a writer that would do wonders for his career if he just got fucking moved to DC. because it's like he just keeps doing spider shit. And it's like, dude, you're like a better writer than that. You don't need to be sticking with the same thing over and over again. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
you
you're
had Iron Man and Fantastic Four for a good chunk.
yeah, it's I don't know. I just don't think he needs to be like it'd be better like because it's I think Tom Taylor's kind of falling into the same thing where it's just like, yeah, you're gonna be doing the same thing for forever. And it's just like, bud, be not you do well with a change of scenery.
Yeah. All right. And then we'll cap this off with my comic news. Um, so J. Michael Straczynski is going to launch a new Steve Rogers Captain America book in September. I assume that this current Cold War event between the two Cap books will probably end with this relaunch happening. Um, any thoughts on that? Does JMS make you want to pick up Cap?
No, you're the bigger JMS fan of the two of us. Last time I got excited for a JMS book, Superman just walked across the nation and did absolutely fucking nothing. So it's hard for me to get, overly enthused. What about you, man?
I mean, I just don't really read a lot of Cap, really,
Yeah.
and when we say I'm the bigger JMS fan, that's one series that I liked a whole
Yeah.
bunch. So, but
What I'll say this though with JMS, what little of his Spider-Man I read was pretty solid.
didn't he do Brand New Day though, or whatever?
That's what he ended on. That was more of an editorial decision. He hated that decision. Like there's like little things that happened throughout his run where he's talked about, I didn't want to do that. Editorial made me. So like,
Gotcha.
having Green Goblin bang Gwen wasn't something he wanted, editorial wanted. Or no, maybe he did it, but then when he was like, oh, since you guys are retconning shit, retcon that. I hate that. And they're like, no, we're keeping that.
Oh, geez. Well, I haven't seen his name on like anything super mainstream in a while, so I mean, could be exciting if you're a big JMS fan. So,
Yeah, and he has that
mhm,
following too. So it's,
yeah, sure. Okay, and then unfortunate news: Moon Knight will be canceled after this upcoming event. So Moon Knight 25 is going to happen. Then after that, it's going to be, I think, a 4 issue miniseries. Um, that like Jed McKay is not even writing.
oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and then it's done. So
I'm curious if this is like a Marvel done or if it's an actual done.
yeah, hopefully it is a Marvel done. I mean, everybody knows how much I love that series, but if it's actually done, I mean, this will go down as one of, if not the best Moon Knight series that we've ever gotten.
Better than Brian Bendis's.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Believe it
checking.
or not. Believe it or not. Okay, and then the last bit of news I actually saw just before we hopped on here to chat. Pretty exciting news, in all honesty. Kelly Thompson and Leonardo Romero are going to relaunch Birds of Prey at DC. So Kelly Thompson making the jump from Marvel to DC, and she's doing Birds of Prey. I think she's going to do really well with it. Um, the team, all we know so far is Black Canary. It's going to be one of those things where they like slowly reveal a member.
I
I
gotcha.
think in like the next week or so. But she said that it's going to be it's going to be a really strong team. She wants to balance between like fun, not A-list characters, but also she wants the book to sell, so she's going to include A-listers too, which I think it's nice that she sort of has that uh, you know, that sense about her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm looking forward to seeing who's on the team. I'm hoping that the two Batgirls are, just because I don't want them to fade away into nothing. But I don't know. What do you think, man? Is this something you'd check out or no?
I might. I think it's 100% going to depend on the team. I've not read enough Kelly Thompson to, have like a strong opinion of her. I think who would you want to be on the team outside of the Batgirls?
I mean, the one that I really want that won't happen is Barda, just
Yeah,
because,
that's
like, you
that'd
know
be a
what,
bit much.
it would be a bit much. But I would really like them to bring back Lady Blackhawk.
Yeah,
Thought Lady Blackhawk was always a cool character, and man, I don't know, I don't know.
I think Batwoman would be perfect on that because it's like that's a character that I think is cool as all hell, but they don't ever really have anything to do with like have anything for her to do. Like it's like we got the Pride Month issue coming out. She's getting a story in that.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
well, what
here
about the
she
red?
is in Tim Drake Robin,
Yeah,
because I know she's popped up there. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's like all the characters they could use, then it ends up being just a Bat book, Which I mean,
yeah.
I know that it kind of is, but I don't know. We'll see.
Ooh, Ravager would be cool.
Oh, Ravager would be so cool. That's who I want. Lady Blackhawk, the Batgirls, and Ravager. But no Harley Quinn. I do not want Harley Quinn in
I
it.
bet Harley Quinn's gonna be in it
Yeah, she probably will be.
because
I mean, I'll still
again,
read it if she is,
they
but
they got to sell books.
they gotta sell books. Yep. But then does that mean the Poison Ivy's in it? Because it might
Yeah,
be.
maybe every once in a while.
Yeah. She was in the new 52 Birds of Prey.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
read that one.
So, all right. And that's it for the news. So, dude, what'd you read this week?
Not a lot.
Same.
Wasn't much out this week, so I read Clobberin Time, a book that I was like, I probably won't pick up the next one, but then nothing came out, so I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna pick up the next one. Then DC Pride, and then Detective Comics, another book where I was like, I don't think I'm gonna pick up the next one, but again, nothing came out, which is kind of funny. Pride Month, nothing came out, and then
Ah,
Doctor Strange.
okay. Couple more than me. I read Doctor Strange, Icon versus Hardware, and the Powergirl Special.
Nice. So I'll just start with Clobberin Time. This is by Steve Scroche and Brian Valenza. It's fine. I mean, this is probably the best issue so far. It's Doctor Strange and Ben Grimm teaming up. Time travel stuff's wonky. There's some fun splash pages. Like right here, we get this fun stuff going.
Nice. Art looks
Looks
solid.
Yeah, the art's pretty solid. Like it's one of those things where you have to get used to it more than anything, but he draws stuff well. And it's fun. I like it. Uh I will say you get to see naked Ben Grimm butt, which I don't know if anyone's ever wanted to see that. I mean, he's got about as much cake back there as I do, which is to say not much for those that are listening. Like, how much cake has Casey got? Answer's not a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, this is a pretty fun book. This is like I said, best issue so far. Nothing out the ordinary though. I'm gonna go probably 7 out of 10.
Okay. Go ahead and do another one.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about DC Pride 2023. First, I'm going to start with this cover because it's pretty bad. John looks like Sasha Cal, Supergirl, in my opinion, on the cover.
Yeah.
And then Tim just looks like a lady. And then like they also have like Dreamer on the cover. There's not a Dreamer story in here.
Oh, cool.
And then so yeah, the first story, it's the Grant Morrison story. They're like, yeah, this is the one that you bought this for. And it's like this alternate Earth Green Lantern. His name's Flashlight, which is hilarious. And he just has a flashlight as his thing. And he like flies, he's trying to get his Flash boyfriend back. And it's pretty good. I liked it. Like it's one of those like Grant Morrison stories though, where it's like, yeah, this is like out there. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I like it. And then the next story, it's a crush story. She like lands on this. She crashes her ship, lands on this island where Harley and Poison Ivy are having like a romantic getaway, and their plane got stolen. But it turns out that was just Harley steal, like just be like, oh, I stole the plane because I wanted to spend more time with you. But we got to get Crush back to her girlfriend, who is the same shitty girlfriend she had in that Crush and Lobo comic. Like, come on, Crush, you can do better. I know you're a pale, weirdo alien lady, but still, she doesn't appreciate you. And then we get this really stupid Tim Drake story where it's Tim and Connor Hawk, and they're both talking, and Connor's like, "Hey, I heard you came out. I just wanted to be supportive." And Tim's like, "Well, where were you for me?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, I just wasn't there for anybody." And then they just had this big talk about their feelings, and it was pretty stupid. And this next one, it's this character. It's I haven't been saying other creative teams, so I'll just say that really quick. The Crush one was by Leah Williams and Paulina Ganuccia on the art, and then the Tim Drake story was Nadia Shamas writing and Bruca Jones on the art. Then we get Subspace Transmissions by A.L. Kaplan, and that's what this one's got that new non-binary Flash in it, and the art in it's pretty dope. Like story wise, I was just kind of like meh, but this art is like super cool. I want to see more art with A.L. Kaplan doing it. And then we get a story by it's called Anniversary, and I think this is the Midnighter story. It's by Josh Trujillo and Don Aguillo on the art. And like there's this character in this one. Their name is it's the Lady Universe Brainiac, because like a bunch of the different Lady Universe characters are there. And this one's Brainiac 69. Fucking tickled me. But no, it's one of those stories where it's like, oh, people are boycotting gay folks, and gay folks are boycotting the people boycotting them, and then Midnighter's gonna kick all their asses, and then Apollo's like, we can't do that. They're like, well, what can we do? And they basically like renew their vows, but Midnighter got someone to friggin' take over every single TV, so it's just their vow renewal basically on all their television. So it's kind of funny. And then the next story,
can you imagine like the Game of Thrones season finale or series finales happening, and then takes over the TV.
What's really funny though is like most people watching the Game of Thrones series finale like, this is better than what we got. Okay, and then next it's Lost and Found by Jeremy Holt and Andrew Drillen on the art. This one kind of annoyed me because we got the Spirit World lady that was in that one, where she could make the paper sword thing, and we don't know her name in that, because every time I'd say it would be like crossed out. They just say her fucking name in this like a couple of times. Because it's like, nice. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay. Because even at the end, it's like to follow Xanthie's adventure in Spirit World #1 out now. It's like they don't know, like she didn't say her name in that.
They do once.
Because I thought it was crossed out. Because like
not every time.
Oh, okay. But yeah, and then like she kind of flirts with Batwoman in that. Oh, and then this one's funny because this is called The Beefcake Bad Boys by Travis Moore. This little cover.
Man, they stole our name.
I know, right? That's the name of this episode.
That's pretty cool though.
It's just hilarious so that like I know it's Prometheus, I don't know the other two guys, and then Monsieur Mala in the background. The classic gay icon, Monsieur Mala.
He's there for the furry community.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the things. It's like Grant, because I don't know if anyone else had them gay before, but Grant did make the Brain and Monsieur Mala very gay in his Doom Patrol run, so makes sense. And then we got Teamwork Makes the Dream Work by Mildred Lewis, and they did the writing and the art. And this one I kind of skimmed. It was hard to get into, but it's Steel. Oh, gross, Jake.
What?
You burped.
No, I didn't.
It sounded like it.
No.
Oh, maybe I'm having a maybe that was Hallie. But I wasn't super into the art. And yeah, like here's the art. Like if you can see it, it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
But wasn't super the art's really cartoony. And the story, it's Steel and Nubia do like, oh, Steel made this new tech thing and Nubia wanted to try out as like a training thing. And yeah, it just didn't do much for me. But the next story, it is The Dance by Rex Ogle and Steven Sadowski. I didn't know Catman was into dudes. But I don't know
I
much
didn't
about
either.
Catman. But yeah, this is Catman and Ghostmaker, and they team up to fight these guys. And Catman's like, "You want to kill him?" And I was like, Ghostmaker's like, I made a promise I wouldn't. And he's just like, "Well, what do we do now? Let's continue this dance elsewhere." It's like, your place or mine. And then just these two beefcake baddies got it on.
Dang.
And then the last one, it's Superman John, and he's fighting a John Constantine demon. And Felix Foss and John Constantine had a bet, basically, like, oh, that John couldn't beat one of Constantine's monsters. And then you find John finally gives up, and Constantine's like, well, I win. So Faust gives him what he wants. And then John Constantine and John Ken are talking, and they're like, hey, it kind of sucked that I had to lose, but I had to help your friend out. And he's like, because it was like the soul of Oliver, one of Constantine's old friends or lovers or something. And he was like, it's like, you could have just asked my dad. And he's like, you think the old Superman would have done this for me? And he's like, not for you, probably for Oliver though. He's like, I think it was more fun with you though, that type of thing. And then he's like, John then punches the head off the monster anyway, and he just to prove that he could, then he flies off. And that one was fine. Like most of these, like at best, these stories were just like not good or just fine. But yeah, this is like very much not worth $10. And like, had any other books came out this week, I probably wouldn't have got it. I thought Timmy Shares was going to have a story in it, but he didn't, so that was too bad. But yeah, I'd say this is a solid 5 out of 10. Grant Morrison
What
did
a
the
resounding.
Grant Morrison did the heavy lift on that one.
Yeah. Well, that's not surprising. All right. For me, I'm going to start with Icon versus Hardware. This is issue number 3. And let's see here. It's written by Reginald Hudland and Leon Chills, with pencils by Dennis Cowan and Daryl Banks. Oh, and Yasmin Flores Montanez. So it's cool. There's more Vandal Savage stuff. We also get a little background info on Icon, on his like home world before he came to Earth. And yeah, then it sort of ends with an Icon Vandal fight while all the worlds and timelines are colliding. And Brainiac shows up, and I guess he's going to join the fray in some high-tech mech suit. So I don't know, like the time travel explanations aren't very good, but they rarely are in anything, in my opinion. So I'm just here for character moments and cool fights, and that's pretty much what you get. So it's good enough. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Nice, man. That's been like a bit of a break between issues, hasn't it?
Yeah, quite a break.
That's what I thought. I was like, you haven't talked about that in a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right, dude. And you just said you didn't read Detective Comics.
Correct.
Okay. You're gonna hate this, but it was actually a pretty solid issue, and Dan Waters did a backup in it.
Ah, that's a shame.
I really didn't read the backup, but this is a Detective Comics 1072, and this is by Ram V with Ivan Rice and Stefan Raphael on the art. And yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's pretty solid. You get all the different back characters doing stuff to help Batman out, and they're fighting these demon things. It's just like, I don't know, like this still is, it's just too big of a story. That's another thing that I mentioned in the YouTube comments with the Killing Joke. The thing that made the Killing Joke so good is it's so low stakes. Like today, writers like this feel like it needs to be end of the world for Batman. Where like Killing Joke is just like, no, it's just literally kidnapped one person and it's big stakes, you know, like little stakes, but like it feels massive, or this is like massive, but it feels like another day.
Yep. Concurred, man.
Yeah. So there's more of this though, where he's fighting. He's kind of figured out he's prepared for some of these, like the wolf guy he has to fight and stuff. And yeah, it's good. It's fine. It's nothing that I would have picked up had I had, you know, less books. I'm probably gonna go 6 out of 10. The art's good in it. I'm really just tired of it. this book doesn't do much for me anymore.
I know, that's why I didn't pick it up. I plan on reading it when it's collected,
Yeah.
because I think it will read well in
Yeah.
that format. Okay, the Powergirl Special. I got the Art Germ variant. It is so good,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just for reasons. No, but the book was cool. Like the whole thing is that Johnny Sorrow essentially wants Power Girl just to like be by his side and all that jazz. So he is like trying to show her a world where when he takes it over, it's great. But obviously she picks up that she's like in a dream or whatever, and then she and Omen have to fight their way out. But you get fun like Johnny Sorrow cologne commercials and stuff,
Oh
which is
yeah.
pretty great. Um, and then the art. Oh yeah, the creative team. It's Leah Williams and Marguerite Savage for at least most of it, maybe all of it. Yeah, at least the main story. So yeah, art is great as always. And spoiler alert, uh, Power Girl and Omen save the day, specifically Power Girl. But we get a lot of good character moments where like she finds out what like Supergirl, because she was beefing with Supergirl in those backups in action, right?
Yeah.
Well, she finds out how Supergirl really feels about her, and it's like she loves her, so there's like no reason for them to be beefing. So she kind of comes around on that, which is good to see. And we get cute little moments with Supergirl's cat Streaky, who ends up taking a liking to Power Girl, and then some great Superman conversation with her as well. He's like, let's see, where is he? He finally shows up, and Power Girl is just telling the Super family, "Hey, I'm sorry for kind of being a turd about everything." And Superman just kind of grabs her shoulders. He's like, "Let me say once and for all, so that you understand beyond any doubt, we would all love to spend more time with you, and that I am so, so proud of you." And then she tears up, and I think she's gonna show up some more, either in action or whenever she gets her miniseries. Maybe the other super fan members will show up in her book. But either way, I'm good with that. I think the whole point of this miniseries and this special is to get her to where she's not the black sheep of the super family anymore.
I just think it would have been hilarious if Superman's like, let me just say this once. You are not related to me. I don't like you. Leave me alone.
Stay away from this family.
Yeah. You are Power Girl, not Super. You are not one of us.
All right.
That's one thing though that I will say that kind of annoyed me with the way Leah Williams was writing Power Girl. It's like Power Girl. Anytime I've ever read her, she was never like, "Woe is me, I can't be a part of the family." You know, that type of stuff. It's like that's not her. She had way more confidence than that. Clearly, you know.
Yeah. Well, I've not read any Power Girl series, so I can't attest to that one way or the other.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, then the backup was about Fire and Ice, and that's by Joanne Starer and Nacha Bustos on the art. It was pretty okay. Like, Guy shows up and is a dick because that's how Guy is, while Fire and Ice are like trying to save the town, and Guy like botches it. So then it just starts a fight between the three of them. And then Superman shows up because Ice called him, and he has to sort of like be the dad to all the kids arguing, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
feel, which I didn't love, because Fire and Ice have never really like fought like this. They're always like pretty cool. But anyway, essentially Superman's like, I think the two of you need a vacation. So why don't you take a little break from the Justice League and just go on a nice trip? So then it ends with them driving away, with a car full of luggage. And it says that their adventures will continue this fall. I might check out that first issue, but if it's not better than this, then there's no way in hell I'm finishing it.
Yeah. I mean, it could be worse. It could be like Guy's abusive, like he was in Tom King's Human Target.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I mean, he
that
wasn't abusive to Ice in that series.
that's what I was reading online. He was supposed to be super abusive towards her in that series.
Like, physically.
I think emotionally.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's just Guy.
Yeah. I mean, not to that. Like that's the thing. Like, because
Well, and when I say that's just Guy, I don't mean all the time. I mean when
yeah.
anyone writes him that's not like Keith Giffen.
Yeah. Because it's like he's a dick, but he's not abusive. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, and he like truly loves Ice. So
Yep. Yeah, but even in this, you don't really get that. He's just like, come on, babe, I know what's best. It's just like, why does everyone write him like this? Have they
yeah.
not read like any other comics with him in it? It
Yeah.
just it feels like the writer only read Tom King's like Human Target, and then she was like, okay, this is how Guy
Probably
Gardner is.
probably going off of that because they're like this is the money maker type thing, you know.
Yeah, I get that. But it was just sort of a letdown. Um, but I liked everything else really well. So I'm gonna give the book an 8 overall because I think the main story really outshined that backup.
Right on, man. Okay, so we're gonna finish up with the old Doctor Strange, and it's by Ed McKay with Pascal Ferry on the art. And what are your thoughts on this?
As I was reading it, I was like, this is okay. But then at the end, when it all comes together, I was like, oh, I like this now. Because it's just like, dude, I don't like, why do I give a shit about all these things that happened in the past? Like
Yeah,
it was kind of annoying. And I'm not saying that that totally redeemed the issue, but at least it made sense by the end of it. Um, Again, I'm not super hot on this art, man. I know you like it,
yeah,
but I don't dig the faces most of the time. Dormammu look cool though.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's pretty okay. And then the backup, I thought the art was awesome, very manga style, but the story itself was kind of meh. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, this one I think is the weakest of the series so far.
yes. That's funny because I the main story I loved. Like genuinely loved it. I thought, see, I'm a big Doctor Strange fan, so just hearing about all these all the different stuff going on was super fun. The way that like Dormammu and Doc were just like doing different things throughout their day while like Doctor Strange just reminded him all the different times he's beaten him and stuff was just fun. And then all that stuff. And I just thought how funny would it be when after like when Jean Grey shows up with the coin and the guy takes it, basically loses his religion. And then Jean's like, oh, by the way, you're gay. He's like, oh no, I have. I've been living a lie.
You strip away where it says Jed McKay and it says
Yeah.
Bendis.
It's like Bendis helped write one part, guess. But no, I absolutely love that. And then the end, it's gonna be fun with the wedding. That's gonna be great. Like it was just a good time. This is a fun to me. Like it's 100% a filler issue, but it was like just fun, good filler. So I loved it. But the backup, as someone who's read all of the Runaways and most of Nico Minora's appearances, I have not read Avengers, like some of the like random one-off Avengers stuff that she's been in, but I've read most of her appearances. I don't know when the fuck this is supposed to take place, and it annoyed the hell out of me. But the anime style art is like kind of funny. Like Doctor Strange, they just made him look way too sexy, in my opinion. Like this is what Clea sees when she thinks of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there is no way the staff of one Dormammu would even give a shit about like either. Like it's not that power, like and like Nico doesn't have good enough control over it. And then like I like how Doctor Strange is like, no, I just wanted you to see if you do it. It's like you're not gonna help her with it. She clearly doesn't know what she's doing. And like
okay, good luck. Bye.
Yeah. It's so and then it's like, how did you find her anyway? Because like at this point they were, runaways. So yeah, it's just like I don't know. Like it annoyed the hell out of me because it's like I don't know when this takes place because this is like after because spoiler alert when they found out Alex betrayed them and she's talking about her parents are evil. Her parents are dead at that point when they find out Alex betrayed them because Alex also died in the process of betraying them. That was a very quick thing. Unless this is like in between panels, she then goes to the Hollywood sign to write some stuff in her journal. Which I don't think that happened because they were in the middle of a big fight. So yeah, it doesn't make much sense there. But yeah, that backup hurt this for me because it would have been a 10 had it not been for that backup. So I'm probably gonna go 8.5 for me.
Okay. Then I'll probably go 7.5.
But what are you
But
excited?
Power Girl is probably my pick of the week, though.
Yeah, that's 100% my pick of the week.
Yeah.
What are you excited about in the coming week, though, bud?
Well, thankfully, there's a lot more out this week, so maybe I can eat some food this week. But definitely Loki. Very excited for that.
Yeah, if that one doesn't knock your friggin' socks off, it's gonna be like a disappointment because that's like with everything going on with that book.
I'm trying not to hype myself up too much because it is a number one.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So, all right. So Loki and then probably Dark Knights of Steel and trying to think of probably Shazam.
All right.
I'm gonna go with those.
All right. So for me, I'm gonna say Flash, Daredevil, and then a surprise Fantastic Four because the last issue of Fantastic Four, I didn't get to talk about it with you. One of my favorite issues of the year so far.
Wow.
So
that's pretty high praise.
Yeah.
And you weren't so hot on that series either.
I've not been, but that, like I said, that one was really good. I have a feeling this next one's going to kind of go back into the same old type of thing. But it was like because that last issue was issue 700, so they did like a special thing, and we can talk about it off the air. I don't want to take up more time with talking about it, but it's a really good issue. If Jake has, if he didn't sell out, which he probably always does, pick it up. It was very, very good.
All right. So your boy Jake actually came up with the Fantastic Four this week. As everyone knows, I've been playing an obscene amount of golf so far this year. And so, Casey, I was just curious, give me four characters that you would want to play golf with.
All right, man. First one on the list that came to mind because I have a feeling it'd just be a hoot. That's what I'm going to go with because I suck at golf. If you guys are curious on my golfing abilities, it's not a good amount of golf. So I'm going to go with characters I think would be fun to hang out with on the golf course. So I'm going Ben Grimm, number one draft pick for my golf outing because it would be a hoot. And then Hercules will also be, but like this would be like pre Dan Abnett Hercules, So
So he can drive 1,200 yards.
yeah. And then I'll say Tony Stark because he's probably got some fun little doodads that'll make me a better golfer. And then I'm gonna say
You need a DC character,
I know
man.
that's what I'm thinking about. I'll go with hmm. Trying to think of like a DC character that would just take it. Green Arrow. He would take it way too seriously. So me and the doofuses that I'm hanging out with can laugh at him. It's like, no, you got to play it where it lies. And they go, like Hercules will be drunk and the thing will be like, I can't even use a driver, that type of thing.
Right.
What about you though, bud?
So the first one that came to mind was Sportsmaster. Because I mean, you got to, right? It's not often you get to bring up Sportsmaster. He's probably really good and could give me some tips, which I desperately need. Another one would be Domino, just because it would be cool to see her luck powers kick in and just see the trick shots that happen. Because I'd feel like that'd be a once in a lifetime thing, right?
Isn't hers bad luck? So the shots would then be like Sportsmaster trying to hit, and then it'd be like it'd fuck him up.
Well, maybe. I mean, either way, that makes for entertainment, right?
Yeah, he'd be like, "It's all in the hips, Jake," and he like hit, and then like just completely, go in the rough.
And the other one I had was J. Jonah Jameson, just because I feel like he actually does play golf, and he would be the one that's taking it way too seriously. And you just know that if he messes up a shot, he's throwing a club.
Oh yeah.
And then finally, I'm going to go with Optimus Prime because he would transform into a custom golf cart that would make shit just super fun.
Like, come on, Jake, get inside me. Like, what? Optimus? No. He's like, come on, just do it.
Phrasing.
Then you're like, fine. He's like, ooh. Like, oh, God.
Jeez. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Let us know down below who you'd want to go golfing with.
Yeah, or which Transformer you want to be inside of.
Yeah, I'd rather hear about the golfing one though. Anyway,
like, I want to be an Optimus Prime, but the monkey version.
Gosh, why?
See, that's how you know we've gone on too long.
Yep. Yep. Which brings up the closing plugs. If you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, please go to our YouTube channel. It's 2 Worlds Podcast on YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, listen to last week's episode of the Testing Room too. Jake was on there. He talked about how much expensive games he's got. So if you know where he lives, you can rob him and make some money. And yeah, you're welcome. And tell your friends, like you probably it's summertime. You probably got a family reunion coming up. Just like go over the aux cord and just plug in the 2 Worlds Greatest Hits and start playing it. And then when they go, what is this? You go, it's 2 Worlds Podcast, baby. You know what a podcast is. You listen to Joe Rogan, right? Same thing, but with comics. And they're like, oh, fuck, I got to listen to this. And then we'll have new listeners because of you. So thank you.
Okay, have you ever wanted to fuck a robot monkey? Well, so do they.
Yep, exactly. And then you guys will have that in common. They can talk to you. They're like, for me, I'd want to be in the Beast Wars version of Starscream. That's my favorite. And you're like, dude, I don't even know you. Like, this is a family reunion. We've never met. This is our first time meeting. So I don't know how you got my number. Like, from your grandma. Like, oh, thanks, grandma. Shit.
Anyway, guys, we would love to stay in chat, but we have to go renew our vows and then fuck.
Ah,
Bye.
bye.